Hey, everyone. I am streaming late today compared to my usual time. I had appointments this afternoon. Wasn't feeling very well all day, but I perked up now and I wanted to get this stream out there so I can continue my streak. This one's entitled Tidy Little Community. So it's the North Phoenix, west of I-17 area, approximately, east and west of I-17. But it is North Phoenix, and I wanted to bring you some updates. First, expansions, a lawsuit, and developments in West Phoenix. You can see the titles there of these that I'm going to be covering. The Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, also known, abbreviated TSMC, also their class action lawsuit against them. VESTAR, which is a planning new retail mixed use in North Phoenix, and Costco, 2 Marriotts, and Auto Mall, which will be developing in the TSMC, near the TSMC. So going forward, we'll start with the TSMC update. I'm going to enlarge that for us. TSMC, this is from a local magazine that came out this month. TSMC joins Pulte Homes in state trust land auction application. So what they're doing is expanding themselves by partnering with the Pulte Homes, which is a big developer out here in building homes and apartment complexes and other living arrangements for folks. You can see if Pulte Homes becomes a successful bidder of a future land auction for a master planned development, which could mimic the size of Anthem at full build out, a 6,355 acre of state trust land. The area will include 9 unique land uses within the development, including an industrial technology park. An industrial technology park, as you might know, is more of shops, businesses, behind the scenes stuff, not like your typical shopping malls that you would see, but an industrial technology park, which will include quite a few vendors, if you will. The location is in the North Phoenix area. Like I said, I'm not going to read you all this, but you can see the pretty picture of Arizona, mountains and greenery and cacti. We're losing the views little by little. So the City of Phoenix Advisory Committee to vote on massive North Park master plan development with 15,000 housing units plus a science and tech park. That's how they worded it in the byline or the short line. And this was written by Karen Govey. So my concern, as usual, is that we're losing more and more of the Arizona lifestyle, the open land, the cactuses, the mountains. The more the buildings going on, the less we have about Arizona's original state, right? So it kind of takes away from the northern view of how Arizona is supposed to be looked at, right? I moved here because it was beautiful. It was open land, it was greenery, there were mountain views everywhere. Now there's so much building going on, specifically apartment complexes, is very concerning to me because they're not one story, they're multi-story, and they're blocking views. Not all of them, but some of them are. And I think it's taking away from the whole point of living in Arizona. Plan development, right. So here you can see that there's a map that kind of color codes what areas are. Natural open space. They're going to keep some space area natural, foothills residential where people will be living, traditional neighborhoods, you're going to have those build outs, lifestyle, mixed use. I'm assuming that's like parks, entertainment areas, community centers, things along those lines. Community commercial also included in smaller areas. Freeway mixed use, so access to the freeway, I hope. Innovative corridor, so obviously that's a strip where you can reach different types of innovative technology or businesses. Community open space, hence the parks maybe, or running areas for your dogs, anything and everything, and that's quite a few acres there too. So in addition, over 207 acres of community park space was added to the proposal on both sides of the innovative corridor, bringing the total potential public park space to over 2,300 acres, approximately 36% of the project area. That's quite a bit, without counting areas devoted to future homeowners association pocket parks. Pocket parks we have here, you may have in your area, but in a neighborhood, you may have a section where a house or two could have been built, but instead they have little parks there, swings, slides, grass screening that's maintained by the HOA so that the families can bring their kids there to hang out for a little while versus driving to the community center or even just at least walking distance. So those are kind of nice if you're of a younger age. As an older age, it might not be something you utilize, but it is good for the younger generation and the moms and dads that take care of their little ones to be able to go somewhere close by to home. Again, not going into too much detail. You can read this article at your convenience on a replay, but you can see there's natural open space areas, there's foothill residential, traditional neighborhoods. They're trying to keep the Arizona feel in there, as you can see, by having cactuses still available. In this picture here, they have the palm trees, which are not in Arizona. You can't replant them, but you can request through the state or the governor's office somewhere. You can request and see if you can get approval to be able to move palm trees into the area. I know that one of the local strip malls, pretty big area down here, or in Phoenix, North Phoenix, has palm trees all sporadic throughout the complex. It's an open mall, so all the stores have outdoor fronts. So it's a beautiful looking place. Don't get me wrong, and they must have gotten through the approval to do so. A lot of these developments also, you can see in the top right, the neighborhood village looks apartment style or individual houses, two-story maybe, or apartment style, 2 floors. Those could be taking up a lot of space and blocking views, but that's part of the community proposal, I guess, community commercial or freeway mixed use or environmental and traffic concerns or whatever they're going to list it under. I don't know. But to me, anything over 1 story takes away from the views from anybody else. Yes, you can drive. Yes, you can bike ride. Yes, you can rollerblade. Yes, you can skateboard. But to be able to view it from your own house is really a beautiful add-on to the home. So when purchasing a home in Arizona, which I push anyone to get a home, not rent, I highly recommend that you watch out for the views too. And that's part of the, should be part of the deciding factor of which homes you might want to purchase. As you can see in the bottom right, the Innovation Center is more of a block looking building. So I guess that looks innovative or high tech. And it will contain intended to complete high tech and employment oriented enterprises already located in the area, proximate to freeway corridors and interchanges with higher traffic volumes. Land uses support employment, manufacturing, and regional commerce. So you've got your the malls coming in, right, which we'll talk about in a moment. I did bring it up at the beginning. Also, this is from an Arizona local magazine article, November 2025 issue. So it is this month's latest update. But these are supposed to kind of around the TSMC. That's why I put this up there. You have the plant, the multiple fab plants, and all the surrounding land that they're utilizing, like for solar panels and such, as you can see in the bottom right. But near there's really just land, not much going on. So what's being just requested or submitted is to develop those areas around it, because suppose there's so many employees working there. According to my understanding, it's only 3,000 employees on site, but they are to give them more housing nearby, as well as shopping, restaurants, right? Things along those lines, that to make it more of a enticing area to work. Moving to the next one on the bottom left, you'll see that it's a continuation of the Innovation Center. It was kind of split off the previous page, but I wanted to include it to make sure you saw that. And again, it looks boxy, but if they're going to utilize it for innovative ideas and creations of new things, then, more power to them. Well worth it to, again, increase employment. That's the biggest thing going on in the country right now, right? People are finding it hard to find jobs. People are overqualified for positions that they're having to take. People are underqualified for positions they can't take, right? So there's a lot of things going on in our own country that we really need to address and look at. And who else do we go to but our government officials? And you know how they've been playing in the playground. battling back and forth to hold up the shutdown, which I'm not blaming either side, but there should be only one side. Take care of the people. First off, we elected you, so you should really stand up for all of the people in your districts or states, especially Arizona, where I live. Top right, jumping over to TSMC's plans for 3 more chip fabs. 3 more. 2 advanced packing facilities and an R&D, research and development center. So they're growing leaps and bounds and taking up more and more property over in Arizona, over here in Arizona. And it's once again, it's difficult to grow companies like this and manufacturing companies because it kind of takes away from the natural view of Arizona and what it stands for, right? So they're looking at 3 additional chip fabs, right? 2 advanced packing facilities and 1 research and development center, which will increase their footprint, which is supposed to be the new hub for creating semiconductors. Let me go back real quick. Right here. As a reminder, just so you know, TSMC of Arizona builds advanced semiconductor manufacturing facilities or fabs in Phoenix to mass produce leading edge logic chips that power devices such as our smartphones, autonomous vehicles, and high performance computing systems. By the way, in this area, North Phoenix, Waymo is not reaching out this far. It's only downtown Phoenix and the close by to downtown Phoenix. So autonomous vehicles do nothing for me yet, just so you know. And high performance computing systems, a critical step in onshoring chip manufacturing to the United States. The operation is a pure play foundry, meaning it manufactures chips for other companies, not its own product. So it does not create semiconductors for themselves. They work with clients who sign contracts, and then they build to their specifications and provide the product to them to produce. And I know that Apple's one of those vendors. Moving forward in our deck, the next topic is the lawsuit. There's a class action lawsuit that was submitted last November 2024. It started out with a smaller number of, I don't know, affected people, participants, something claiming that they were not treated appropriately in the workplace at TSMC. Well, that number has grown, and we're talking about all levels of employees, from low-level employees to upper management regime. So where's it stand 1 year later? After we just talked about the growth and the new development, and don't forget, President Trump shook hands with the CEO of TSMC, who was going to, a while ago, put another million, I think, or multi-million dollars back into the economy of Anthem, Arizona. Well, excuse me, just because they may have hired Arizonans to do jobs, because of this class action lawsuits, these people have created this lawsuit because they've been forced out of positions, involuntary firings. They've claimed harassment in the workplace. They've also been made fun of. They've, according to their alleged accusations, right, in their class action lawsuit filing, they would sit in meetings, and everybody who was not from Arizona or the United States, sitting in that like a team meeting, the leader with the other employees from overseas would speak Mandarin. That's one example of what was going on. So they're sitting in these meetings, whether it's a team meeting or an actual project meeting, and they have no idea what's going on because there's never a mandate to speak Mandarin or a second language of Mandarin. Again, I'm getting this from the class action lawsuit filing, which I did a stream on a while ago, just after last year, I believe, when it was filed, or sometime earlier this year. And these are very concerning. And don't forget, there was also racism accusations going on in the workplace. Very uncomfortable. Made many people, according to these allegations, very uncomfortable workplace to work in. So there were 2 titles. I don't have them in front of me, but I believe one was involuntary leave or firing, right? Where they didn't want to leave, but they were forced to leave because of the environment. So the class action lawsuit update, it's still in the courts, of course, right? So it's still ongoing. There's more people joining it. It's Howington versus TSMC. The case number is 24-5684. It was filed November of 2024, so it's been 1 year approximately. And we have no resolution with it, and they are still continuing forward with expanding their business. Where is the investigation? Where is the third party investigation on these accusations? What are the courts doing about this instead of making it a stay, no growth, no doing anything until we figure out how you're running your business? I don't care who signed the contract with this company in the state of Arizona, whoever it was, they need to step up and protect the Arizonians who were probably the intent was to get them employed, right? And yes, to the letter of the contract within the four corners, as we've seen many times, the judges can say, well, the contract says you will hire X amount of Arizonans or United States citizens into your company. They may have hired them. Check that one off. But when they make it so uncomfortable, allegedly, and they quit, that's not on the company. That's on the employee who left. So then you're in a shortage of employees. So what happens? I've done a stream on this too. I call it the open door work visa, open border work visa. A back door into getting people from overseas into the United States, kind of like the open door for the immigrants, illegal or otherwise. And this is just another, in my opinion, this is just another way to allow people from China or Taiwan to come in. Now the accusations part of the lawsuit also states that they are expecting people to speak Mandarin or have it as a second language. They're also putting into job opportunities that they have to have some sort of Chinese or Taiwanese background in their heritage. If that's not taking away from every Arizonan in the United States to get hired there, then why are they here? And why is our government working with them, or the state even working with them to expand this company who's pretty much going to take over Arizona? And if this lawsuit comes to fruition, there should be some detriment to the company. There should be some changes in their policies and processes, don't you think? Well, I certainly do. Okay. The article lawsuit says TSMC retaliated against worker involved in class action discrimination case. This is an article written on November 10th, just 3 days ago, and it was submitted at 5 a.m. Mountain Time by Sasha Hupka, the Arizona Republic. This is online, so you can find it online. I put the link. It's rather long, but if you go to azcentral.com, you can find this article. A lawsuit alleged that Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company retaliated against an employee involved in an ongoing class action workplace discrimination case. Discrimination. We don't like that, do we? Michelle Bernardo of Arizona said in her suit that the chip-making giant demoted and ultimately fired her from her human resources role. And if you were to read the filing or go back to my replay of my stream, you can look it up either way. But anyway, it talks about how people's in that high-level position people were taken away from them, their staff, they were overloaded with work, making it so difficult to work that some of them had to take FMLA multiple times over the time they were there. And that's the Family Leave Act, which is United States of America legal law that they can take, which allows them up to 6 months of leave with or without pay, depending on the company. And what I'm smelling is I'm leaning toward they didn't pay them, but that is something that they have to allow. And what that does, it once again leaves an opening for 6 months, well, however length of time, but up to 6 months. And they're not promised the exact same position when they come back. The Family Leave Act says you come back to something similar, if not the same, as your previous position before you left. So understanding the FMLA makes a big difference if someone were to choose to take it or not, right? There's a lot of something to think about before you choose to do that. But if the environment itself is so toxic, you really need to get out, but you don't want to lose your position, that's an option to you because that's where it's stemming from. Your frustration, your anxiety, your stress, everything along those lines comes right out of your work environment. So it makes perfect sense to utilize the FMLA. And again, a criminal charge is merely an accusation and the defendant presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. The company itself in this case. So the lawsuit's ongoing. I'll keep my eyes on that and see where we go with any new updates. Continuing on with our tidy little community. Also, big news, big news. Costco, 2 Marriotts of and an auto mall adjacent to the TSMC plant. So that land you see around there, whether it's in this view or the other side or left or right, they're planning to build a Costco, 2 Marriotts, not one, but 2 Marriotts, and an auto mall. And it's adjacent to the TSMC plant. So with that said, I kind of find this title a little weird. Costco, 2 Marriott hotels, and an auto mall, Inc. agreements adjacent to TSMC link. I'm wondering if Inc. was supposed to be INC. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Maybe Inc. agreements mean it was written in ink, so it's confirmed. Could be anything at this point. But this was written by Karen Govier. The long-rumored Costco warehouse store near I-17 and Carefree Highway has officially found a landing spot on the west side of I-17. So when you're going northbound I-17, it'll be on your left. And the other rezoning is on the right. And again, on the left is where the TSMC plant fabs are located. And you can see some of the road names here: Dove Valley, the Costco location where it's planned to be. In the article, it talks about it also. Let me get to what I want to say. As affiliate of Mac Real Estate Group, acquired the parcels totaling 2,300 acres at a state land auction. I need to go to a state land auction and buy some land. It's worth it to own land. In May of 2024, so over a year ago, almost 18 months, for $56.2 million. Mac Group will be responsible for the development of the roads, water, sewer infrastructure, dry utilities, and drainage infrastructure. Biggest thing in Arizona is clean water. We need to keep clean water. The land is drying up. The populace is growing. How are we as a state maintaining the water incoming and keeping it clean? And water, we just heard a news report today I saw by Sean Rice talking about a water plant that had a small fire in an area down underground where some sewage was built up, something to that effect. I didn't listen to the whole thing. It was just on Insta. But that's going on. And if that affects the clean water, what are we going to do about it? Will we even know about it if he didn't do the news report? So we need a new focus in Arizona and other states, but I'm from Arizona, so I'm talking about Arizona specific. We need to refocus some of our energies to either review the current how's water doing in Arizona? Do we have plenty of it? Do we have enough plants everywhere? Are we cleaning lake water? Are we driving it in? What's going on? Are we collecting rain in buckets somewhere? I need them to really focus on that from the state, because as these things grow, more people are coming, and the more people that go, the more water is used. And is it going to be filtered and cleaned and prepared, ready for everybody who's already here and the new people coming in, right? That we can't go without water here. It doesn't work. We dehydrate even on a cool day. So be wary of that. Even in your own state, you may have concerns. So please be wary. Okay, VESTAR, planning new retail mixed use in North Phoenix. New development in West Phoenix. That's right. This is another one that's going on. So defining VESTAR are two different entities, a real estate company and a private equity firm. So VESTAR planning new retail mixed use. New retail mixed use. So could that be like grocery stores / clothing stores / garage vehicle repair, towing companies? I'm not sure. But retail mixed use is more, to me, in my mind, is more about various clothing stores opening up. But we do have the outlets out here for like Calvin Klein and a variety of major names that have the outlets this way. So are they being replaced? Are they being engulfed? I don't know. Do we really need a high-end retail mixed use if that's what it's going to be? I don't know. But to help define VESTAR, don't know. are two different entities, a real estate company and a private equity firm. VESTAR, a privately held real estate company, specializes in acquiring, developing, and managing retail centers in the Western United States. VESTAR Capital's partner is a separate private equity firm focused on investments in companies across various sectors, including consumer, technology, and healthcare. So even though they're two different branches, if you will, of the same company, but look at what they cover. That's quite a bit. And Vestar, being a private equity firm, means thinking real estate company and private equity firm. That could be stuff behind the scenes that we weren't aware of how things are moving forward. Did they get this land on the cheap? I don't know. But since it's going to be a retail mix, hey, Belly May, how you doing? Oh, here's a comment from Belly May. Hey, Rob, I worked at First Solar and we built a manufacturing plant at the old proving grounds. Yep, the Mesa proving grounds. Yep, GM's place, but then sold it to Apple before it was fully built. Sold out to China. Really? Well, they've already got their foothold in back then, Belly Bay. So now they're just expanding it by increasing their territory north of Phoenix. Mesa's south of where I'm at, and beautiful part of the country. Don't get me wrong, but the proving grounds was big for like General Motors testing their vehicles. Thanks, Belly May. I appreciate that. So for VESTAR's big commercial development for rezoning approval, as you can see, you have I-17, 303 is at the bottom, and then going up to Tremonto. It's the Carefree area, Tremonto area, right? The road is called Carefree Highway there. The first zoning area that's where the future auto mall is. That's causing already a ton of traffic delays on I-17. 2 lanes are packed almost all the way down to past the 303 or down to the Dove Valley, if not further south, because the second lane to the exit is trying to merge into because they don't want to wait in line, which is a big fucking irritation to me. If I'm waiting in line, get back there and you wait in line. I got here to where I got, just like standing in line at the pharmacy. You don't cut in the line, you rude bastards. So anyway, oh, you lived in Gilbert, Belly Me. Thank you. I know that area too. And it does frustrate me, as you know, to see all this growth taking away from the Arizona view, you know? And that's what you can call it, the Arizona view. Totally know what this define that as. But yeah, the construction that's going right now, it says it's up for rezoning approval. Did they get it? Why are they already working? What's that all about? Okay, maybe there's a reason. But they're tearing this territory up, prepping it, I guess. But they're blocking the 2 roads because everybody's trying to merge over to get out, to get down to eastbound on Carefree Highway in Dove Valley to get to their homes, which are also newly built, blocking more views of Arizona, mountains, and cactus land, okay? So, in that part 2 is the Dove Valley Town Center, okay? If you go just further south than that, we have a mall called Happy Valley. Beautiful open door, open mall area, not all indoors. It's open door. All the malls are on sidewalks. You know what I mean? And it's not that far away. So this Dove Valley Town Hall, I don't know what it's going to entail per se, but is it really necessary to really build all these different things to take away from Arizona's view? I say no. But don't forget, there's a ton of apartment complexes that have gone up for the last several years. Housing subdivisions have gone up. So now they're trying to bring the businesses to the places that people live. Sad state of affairs in my book. VESTAR has an application pending with the Arizona State Land Department for 2 parcels along the east side of I-17. Remember, TSMC is on the west side. And also, the Costco and the Auto Mall, and that's going to be built on the west side of I-17. See how it says Future Auto Mall up by number 1, which is number 1 is the Future Auto Mall on the right, which is east of 17, but the Marriott's and the Costco will be on the left. So it's going to be a cluster, just without saying the fuck word. Clusterfuck, basically, to get anywhere around these roads. Yes, it's a 4-lane highway on I-17, but when 2 of them are taken down, now you're talking backups going over to the 3rd and 4th lane. And we do have a high occupancy HOA. HOA. High occupancy. Oh God. I know it's HOV is high occupancy vehicle, meaning more than one person driving. It can take the far left lane and speed along past the traffic, but only for during the day. Between like 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., only multi people in the vehicle can take it, or they'll get ticketed up to $400 or $400 is the citation be. And then also between, I think, 3 and 7 in the afternoon, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Because again, those are the drive times when people are going to work or coming home from work or out of the area, in and out of the area. But that whole I-17 was nice, just beautiful views as you're driving home or driving, anywhere you want to go. But now they're building all of these, they're developing all of these things here, and now it's going to really cause a big cluster. Dove Valley Road and the other just south of Carefree Highway. See first look at VESTAR's Plan Development Valley Vibe May 2025. Okay, so I have to go back to the May edition of the magazine to see what it looks like. The proposal was approved by the, so it was approved, commission on October 6th. Okay, that's just 30x plus days ago, just over a month ago. They're already tearing up land. Don't tell me they just started. Anyway, auction date for the land would be set for the state land department. If approved by city council, an auction date for the land would be set for the date. The proposal was approved. So the proposal was approved by the planning commission on October 6th. If approved by city council, an auction date for the land would be set for the state land department. Then why is their work already being done? I see it when I drive by it. Okay, I'll get my camera out and I'll take my pictures of it, filming video, so you can see it for yourselves. November 5th, already passed. VESTAR rezoning approval, Phoenix City Council, 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 5th, downtown Phoenix. Infrastructure projects to the right there, right? The roadway expansion to full width. I believe it's white or gray. It doesn't show up very well. New full width roadway. It's a straggly line. Okay, that's not off I-17. That's once you get off of I-17, which is no help to us. And bridge span over Skunk Creek. Okay, look where it's located, over by Zone 1 there, right? Commercial development number 1. And Skunk Creek is a cool little area that they took apart and tore up and made apartment complexes in that area too, and housing. So it looks very open landish, but it's not. If all that white space is full of construction, already finished constructed buildings, homes, businesses, apartment complexes, things along those lines. Malls, office malls, I should call them. So be aware. I'm not really excited about this one because it's already causing conflict on I-17 North. They did not, once again, plan very well for what plans were doing going forward. Whoever the Department of Phoenix City Council do they live up here? Do they know what's going on? They don't feel the pain, do they? I would say nay. So the tidy little community, not so tidy from my perspective. And you see that I shared with you the expansions that are being planned and going on, the lawsuit update, the best I could get, and developments in West Phoenix, west and east and west of I-17 North Phoenix. So not the most favorable in the immediate short term, but similar to President Trump's plan is, yes, there's pain in the short term, but there'll be growth in the long term. Short-term pain now for long-term gain later. Just like this. I may have my opinions because this area is such a cluster due to all the construction all at one time too. But in the long run, they'll become comfortable. People will be shopping close to home. They'll be going to work there if they work there. So it'll end up hopefully to be a positive for everybody. My sad part is I've experienced life in Flint, Michigan. And if anybody remembers the old days in Flint, Michigan, how it was raised to be the wonderful, great center of the world, and then it kind of lost traction and became a city that has been somewhat forgotten. So go watch those documentaries. You'll know what I'm talking about. And with that, I want to thank you all for attending today. I am concerned about what's going on, so I'll keep my eyes open on these. I do have a stream planned for tomorrow, which is our chapter 3 of the book of Lo. So I can have some fun with that one because she's such a crazy bitch. But I wanted to get this one in today since I was able to. So I'm glad I did it. But please subscribe if you can, and be ready to watch my stream for tomorrow. I'm going to repost because StreamYard has now offered 2 streams for one. One will be portrait, one would be landscaped. StreamYard for YouTube. So that way you get 2 streams for the price of one. And if you're using your phone to watch, it'll be portrait. If you watch it like on an iPad or a computer or an Apple TV or whatever, then you can watch it landscape. So I like that they added this feature. So and it only became available this week. So all my planned ones for the future, I'm going to redo. So be aware you might see some changes, and they will all be the same, but just that they're going to have the new option. I was surprised they didn't convert them for us. But anyway, with all that said, I thank you all for attending. Hope you have a great day, a great evening, and maybe I'll stream later. Who knows? I do have some other new news about DG. That's dickhead to you and me. I will talk to you soon.